year and a half ago, my wife Jess approached me. She wanted to learn how to shoot. Of course, that entails many questions, considerations. How, where, when, why, all the W's and the hows. And as our discussion progressed, she started to grasp the depths of what shooting really is. What do I want to shoot? As in, what's my target? What do I want to do to that target? Is it paper? Is it steel? Is it an animal? How do I ethically do that? Where can I do that? Where is it legal to shoot? Ranges, outdoor, crown land, state land, BLM land. What do I want to achieve when I do hit that target? Especially if it's hunting, you know. What's the outcome? I want meat. Am I hunting for sustenance? Am I hunting for sport? What's the budget? What do we want to spend on this project? Which brings you into all kinds of questions of like, what do I want? A pistol? Do I want a shotgun? Do I want a rifle? Do I want a center-fired rifle, a rim-fired rifle? What's the distances I want to get into? And this just ballooned into a big topic, and I decided to put together a small course for her with a little bit of reluctance. One, I needed to find the space to achieve the aims of a longer range shooting with a mid-size rifle, center-fired rifle, and I'd kind of hung up my hat on shooting. So if I go back, as a child growing up, I loved shooting. I loved hunting. I didn't do it that much. I wasn't an avid hunter, but when I did get the chance to do it, I loved it. I loved the idea of hunting for sustenance, to man or woman using a tool as an extension of our capabilities, of our needs. And this, probably some of it was bred in through culture, you know, TV, things of that nature, especially the 80s, 90s culture. And then this segued into my military career in the infantry, and I began to finally understand what really bonding to your weapon means as a means of protection for yourself, for others, as a means to gather food, just how closely integrated that gun can become in your hand, especially if you, especially as I moved into the world of combat overseas. And this grew more and more and more as I learned about the depths of the science that backs it, truly the art of shooting. As I progressed into the special forces, it developed more, and I had access to more and more teachings, more and more experiences with firearms. My personal experience outside the military grew as well, and then eventually it kind of crescendoed, and then I just went cold turkey off shooting. I've known a gun. I still technically don't own a gun. The only gun that's around me right now is Jess's gun. So there was that reluctance to pull back into the saddle, to get shooting in, dust off, you know, brush aside the cobwebs. And it took me a while to get the package going. Okay, what do I want to teach her? What's the reason for it, and how do I want to achieve it in as few rounds as possible in order to make this more efficient? And how can I do it in a way that we can capture just about every aspect of shooting in order for other people to learn from it? Because we are big advocates for fun, ethical shooting in a sustainable way. We would hate to see people's rights, people's abilities, we'd hate to lose the fundamental of being able to hold and shoot a firearm. Because I actually think removing them just adds to the problem. We're not actually fixing the first fear, the reason for most people's fear of firearms, by just removing it. That doesn't get rid of the perceived safety that those people, the perceived lack of safety that those people are seeing. They think it's because of the gun, but it's actually 100 other causes that are outside of shooting altogether. We wanted to present this in a way that family can get outside, get outdoors, enjoy nature in an affordable manner. The way the class, the way the course, the way the program, the way the story, or the way we've programmed Jess's journey through this is designed to be very manageable and linear, where at the end you become an extremely good dynamic long-range shooter with the capability of taking what you've learned for long range, ultra long range, and apply it to other firearms, pistols, shotguns. Even though the dynamics of them change, the forces that are at work do not change. And we wanted to give that to other people in order to encourage them to get outside, get competitive with this if you want to, feel safe when things start to go wrong. As I mentioned, 1.5 years ago we started this, and COVID started to shake things up and people went into panic mode, and so much of that was around survival. How would I survive if all the lights went out? And I'm not even talking people versus people or anything like that. I just mean, farming kind of slows down. How would I provide food for my family? And so many people realize just how limited their capabilities to do that are. To go back to throwing sticks and rocks, we have this beautiful extension, the firearm. To achieve that, it's a great place to start. As we journey through this, your skills will develop, of course. It'll take longer than a few trips to the range to develop the skill properly and transcend those skills into the art of shooting. However, we deliver it in a way that will bring either the person who's at 0 up past intermediate. Beyond that, you'll have everything you need to go to advanced. It's just a matter of repetition at this point to take the intermediate shooter, hone their skills a little bit more, and bring them and set them on their path to advanced shooting. Of course, the class, the journey, the story of Jess's progression, because that's what's going to happen. We're going to take someone like Jess, who's a 0 shooter, move her to a good shooter, and then from there she'll be able to develop into a great shooter. Very manageable. There'll be videos, a resources section for all the extra info, because as you journey through this you'll start to see just how packed with information, how deep with the science shooting is, and it would be impossible to deliver it. It would be 4-hour videos, 12 of them, or it would be even more. Like the depths of it is pretty deep, and one of the beauties of it is it's not fully solved yet. So you could be the next great shooter who contributes to that development. So 1.5 years ago, Jess asked me, I really want to learn how to shoot. So we scrambled. We started trying to get pieces for a gun. We wanted to do a custom build. I wanted her to understand, why am I buying this piece? Why am I getting this piece as opposed to a package? Which there's lots of good package deals out there. I wanted to be unswayed by brand. There's a lot of hearsay snake oil out there. Some good. Most of it's to sell a brand, so that she can make those decisions, and that's how we want to present it. At the time, COVID sparked up. COVID started to spread, and it was very hard to come by pieces. So the weapon we ended up with is kind of a little bit from here, a little bit from here, a little bit from here, and it came together to create something, a really beautiful weapon, capable of, past the kilometer shooting, for target shooting, for steel, for paper, for hunting. You can shoot multiple types of ammo of the same caliber, based on the barrel length and twist rate we went with. And we just want to convey some of that to you. I think, like all things mechanical, biological, that get little bits bolted onto it. They have their own inherent character, and they can be fickle in some ways, particular in other ways, pain in the butt in some ways, and really great and amazing in other ways. And this particular gun really worked out excellent for Jess. It really fits her body, her anthropomorphology, her kinesiology, her physiology. It really fits her physiology and melds up nicely to her. I would say that it makes you earn it. It's not easy. A lot of people think that I went and I bought a box of ammo and I grabbed this gun from Walmart. I grabbed this gun from a big box store, and I got it all figured out. And quickly you'll realize that no you don't. It's very deep. As soon as you start pushing out anywhere in the hundreds of yards, hundreds of meters, it's totally a different game. And literally you gotta work against the rotation of the planet. You gotta conquer multiple directions of wind, and the bullet's a beautiful metaphor for consideration for everything that we do, where you throw this thing out into the atmosphere, and if you don't consider multiple forces, multiple effects, it could have a real negative impact. Or if it's deeply considerate, or in our case we use the words deeply precise. Everything we do is with precision, and it's very repeatable. Right from the beginning we build in as much precision as we can, so that in case we have to lose it a little bit, we're still able to achieve our intended aim, just like being deeply considerate. You're able to achieve a certain aim that's well thought out. Although this course is designed, one, to teach Jess how to shoot, for the shooters who are watching, or would-be shooters, it's to help them answer a few questions. Am I doing this for home defense? Is this for recreational purposes, such as getting outdoors, family time, target shooting? Am I just interested in the science of it? It's very fascinating. There's a lot of math, there's a lot of rabbit holes of learning and exploration that you can go down. Am I looking to hunt with this weapon? To help point you in directions of legalities, ethics, things of that nature. And more importantly, with all of this, not just the sport, to help prepare you for competition or sport. And the course is less about ethics and morals as a whole. It's more about, once I've made those decisions, or now I've gone through it and I have these missing pieces of the puzzles to help me go back, make the decision, and then use it to elevate my abilities extremely in the fastest way possible, without having to dedicate a ton of time, a ton of money, and pay for super expensive courses. Considerations like budget, time, flexibility, the amount of shooting you'll do. If you're only going to get out once, there's no point buying a $20,000 gun. Things to consider, like where am I going to shoot? In the U.S. you have all kinds of BLM and state land that you can use. There's all kinds of ranges, all kinds of competition. The sport is really nurtured well here. In Canada, we have so much crown land that you can go shoot on. It's a great excuse to get in the outdoors. And then, like, for target shooting, you got pigeons, you got paper, you got steel, you got all kinds of ranges you can put them at. The variances and the challenge just don't end. There's no peak to this. There's the capability has yet to be fully matched. It's getting close. The capability of the round itself, our ability to make it work at the far end hasn't fully reached what distances it can make. And lots of this is built around kind of the cornerstone of being precise, being mathematically precise, and precise in all our movements, from the shooter all the way out to the target. How do we crunch the numbers to the farthest decimal place, take those, be precise in all our movements, precisely duplicating and triplicating everything we need to do in order to meet that aim and get those sweet long range first hit money shots which will vary depending on what caliber you use, barrel length. There's a whole bunch of variations that we'll get into and variables that come into play for what is a realistic expectation of what you can achieve with a certain weapon. I want anyone to participate in this course. I would like everyone to participate in this course. What I would like participants of this course to get is a deep understanding of something that can be misunderstood. And I would love it if the next great shooter came out there, because whenever you elevate other people, it forces elevation all around them. And that's how we expand and continue to grow and push the limits of what is capable with all this. I'd like people to get out with their families and have fun, get outside with this, and really take on this archetype of fear that's completely misunderstood. Weapons don't kill people. People kill people. And it's that simple, and we can't let something else go by the wayside. We can't take something else off the shelf. We can't fix our problems by taking away an object. An object does nothing. It's the users behind that, the education behind that. And I think if most people just saw how extremely safe they actually are and how much fun and value they can bring, that would be amazing. And I look forward to people going through this journey.